So let's bring in Republican Governor of Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson. Governor, do you think there needs to be a new long-term solution, or should Title 42 remain in place? Because this is untenable.
Well, Title 42 should remain in place until there is a long-term solution that is provided by Congress and this administration. The United States Supreme Court is taking the border crisis more seriously than the Biden administration. They made it clear that we're not going to lift Title 42 yet. We're going to have arguments on this, and gives the Biden administration and Congress time to act. And what has to be done is that there has to be a replacement for Title 42, because eventually it will have to go away. The public health emergency will end. We have to have a replacement for that. We have to have clarity on the policy. We have to put resources there. We have to engage Mexico, because part of it is the cartel challenge that we face. These are simple things that has to be done. And I say simple, anytime you try to get something through Congress, I know it's challenging, but we have to be able to work on it. The administration has to take responsibility and lead with a replacement for Title 42, because this is a serious humanitarian crisis that we see on the border.
Absolutely. Governor, yours is not a border state, but it's affected by the migrants. Has there been enough support from the federal government?
Well, the answer is no. And the biggest impact is the fentanyl that is coming in, that is killing hundreds of Arkansans, thousands and tens of thousands of Americans. And we have to be able to address the security along the border, because it impacts every state. Whenever you're looking at immigrants that come in, they are released, they go to every state in the country. And sure, that's a challenge on services, but it's also a humanitarian crisis that we have to address. And the biggest problem is this administration has not been clear on its policy, has not taken border security seriously, and the result is endangering tens of thousands of immigrants that are trying to come in every day across a very dangerous border. We have to be able to secure that. So yes, it impacts us.
So, Governor, you're sounding very presidential here. Now, you said you'd look at a decision on whether to run at the end of this year. It's the end of this year. Is it time to get into the presidential race?
Well, I think that timeline is more likely through the first quarter of next year. Right now, we have one candidate that's in on the Republican side, former President Trump, and people need to understand there will be alternatives. I'm looking at it. I know that there's others that are looking at it as well. And so we've got time to work with, but we've got to make sure that we provide alternatives for the future of the Republican Party, as well as an alternative to the failed policies of President Biden.
So former President Donald Trump, you mentioned, has a lot of support, and he's announced that plans to run. But do you feel like there needs to be an alternative for Republicans there? He's a divisive figure inside and outside the Republican Party. How would you handle bringing everyone together?
Well, you described it perfectly. He is a divisive figure. And while we can divide our country on policies, let's not do it just because we want to pick a fight. And that's what's wrong with a Trump candidacy. And I think that there's a growing number of the Republican base that wants an alternative. A lot of good things have been done in the past, but we have to have a fresh start for our party. We have to have a new option for 2024, or we're going to be yielding the presidency once again to President Biden or to a Democrat. So that's going to be the challenge that we face. And I want everybody to be debating what's the best policy, what's the best ideas for our future. America is a great country, and we want to make sure that we can unite behind those policies that really show America's greatness and our goodness at the same time.
So, Governor, let's move on to TikTok quickly. You as governor, along with 18 other governors, have banned the social media app on state devices. What is it that made you make that decision, and what would you tell parents?
We've made that decision based upon the intelligence information coming from the FBI and Homeland Security. And there is a risk in terms of the security of the data. And so as a state, I want to make it clear that we aren't going to jeopardize our data, our citizens' data, with connections to that app, TikTok. Now, obviously, millions of private users use TikTok. That's not the prerogative of government to say that's disallowed at this point. But that was a step that's appropriate for government to say, we're not going to have access to that. Our state employees aren't. We want to make that clear. And in terms of parents, think about that. I mean, you know, if there's dance moves, I'm not sure that's a national security issue, but you don't want children's data, all sorts of data, being vulnerable to a government that's not friendly to us, which is China.
Governor Asa Hutchinson from Arkansas, the great state, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you today. Thank you.